Okay, we're going to work on the next thing, which is going to be drawing C. And when we work on drawing C, let's just take a look at that particular project. It looks like this here. And the thing that makes this one different is this. You've got these, can I even do this? Maybe I can, maybe not. Okay, highlighter doesn't really work here. We won't worry about that. And not sure if these tools work. Anyway, don't worry about that. So when you're going from here to here, what we can do is we can go ahead and create this angle. So let me go ahead and focus on how to do this, because you'll notice here it tells us it's 1 down and it's 1 to the right. So we're going to work on this because that's the only thing that's a little bit tricky here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll work on this right now. So let's go ahead and talk about this. First thing you want to notice is the overall top dimension is 7. The next dimension down here, we're going to pay attention to this flange over here. It's going to be actually 4 minus 3.5, which is, that's right, 0.5. Then over to the left, it's going to be 1. And then down here, it's going to be 2.5. I'll just give you that dimension, which then brings us to this point. So let's go ahead and draw those few things right here. So overall, into AutoCAD, going to get into here, change my current layer to object. I'm going to start with my line command. So up here, I'm going to start over here. I'm going to go over 7. And then I'm going to go down 0.5. And this is just pointing my cursor. And then over here in this direction, 1. Okay, and then down this direction, I said it was 2.5. Boom. And that brings us down to here. Okay, now this is where you could use the Pythagorean theorem, but as I'm fond of saying with AutoCAD, that's too much like doing work. What we want to do right now is we want to find a point that actually is going to give us the x and y that we see here. So the x and y that we see here is over to the right 1 unit, and it's going over to the right 1 and down 1. Now in AutoCAD, here's the thing. When you are putting in coordinates like this, this is how you want to do it. Anything that's going over from where you're at right now, if it's going to the right, and in this case we're going to the right, that's positive. If we went to the left, that'd be negative. And then if we're going up, that's positive. And if we're going down, that's negative. So let me introduce what we do here. So going from this point right here, going to the right, well, that's negative. That's positive rather. So going to the right is positive. Going down is negative. So I'm going to go from this corner over a distance of 1 comma negative 1. 1 comma negative 1. Let me show you how that works. So over here I'm going to type it in. 1, and my 1 shows up. I hit a comma, and then what happens there is my cursor kind of goes screwy. Have faith. This is just how it works. 1 comma negative 1. I hit my enter key. Boom. And when I do that, it finds it. Okay, so yes, I understand it's going to give you that graphic thing. Just have faith. 1 comma negative 1, then hit the enter key. When you hit the enter key, it executes, and you'll see it here. Now I'm actually where I need to be. So back over to here, this bottom line is 3. That's easy enough. So I just go straight over here, locks in at 0 degrees, type in 3, hit my enter key. Let's look at the other side. So from here right now, I'm going over, since these are the same on each side, I didn't write typical, but they are. So I go over this direction, 1, which is to the right, so that's positive, and going up again. That's also positive, so it's positive and positive. So over here, it's 1 comma 1. Hit my enter key. Boom. And it gives me that. Then up like this, I'm going to go ahead and type in 2.5. Boom. And then over 1 here. And then I can go ahead and type in C to close, or I can go ahead and just use an object snap and do it here. In this case, I'm going to right click and choose close just so I can show you how to do that. Now that's how you put that in here. Now to draw this next object, there's 2 different ways to do it. Well, there's probably 30, but I'm going to show you one way to do it here. Now first of all, this slot is actually oriented right off this corner here. It's off this corner here, and it's 1.5 inches away from this this point right here. So it's 1.5 over. So one way I could do it, real easy way, just start your line command, and we go here, and we go over 1.5. Boom. And then how far up? It goes up 1, and then over 2. So I just go ahead and go up here, 1, and then over 2, and then down 1. And I'm going to snap it right to here to finish it. So go ahead and do that. Now once I've got that, I've got this little line segment. I can click on there, delete it, and boom, that's gone. Easy enough, and that's perfectly done. And by the way, here's a cool thing. If you want to ever check your dimensions, you can just click your mouse and drag it down here. This is called a crossing. Okay, anytime you see this, it's AutoCAD saying, oh, you want to pick some stuff. Going from the left, rather from the right to the left is green, known as a crossing. It selects everything it touches. Going from the left to the right is blue. That's a discussion for another day. But for right now, if you highlight this, and if I hover my cursor here, it tells me what my distances are. In this case, it's 7 is the overall dimension, and 5 is the height. Over here, it tells me right now it's 2.5 and 1, and over here it tells me it's 1 by 2.2. So all my dimensions can be available just by using those grips. Hit your escape key, get rid of the grips, because you don't want to necessarily leave it that way. Here's the other way you could go ahead and draw this. Now this way, I'm going to use what's called object snap tracking. And for this to work, you've got to have this tool on right down here. This is your object snap tracking tool. It looks like an alligator. You're going to leave that on. And object snaps, you want to keep those on too. And by the way, I'm going to add one. Yeah, we're good to go. And then you want to have polar tracking on typically and dynamic input. But if you start your line command, watch this. I'm going to touch this right here without clicking. I didn't click. It picks up the endpoint and I drag it over. And it gives me this green tracking vector. And that's telling me, okay, you can just tell me how far over you want to go. Well, I want to go over 1.5. Boom. And so you do that, and then you can go ahead and do the same we did before. So this is a bit more elegant because then I don't have to go back and delete the item that I did before. And I can just go ahead and right click and choose close, and we're good to go there. And that's how we could do that. That's called object snap tracking. And I'm just going to throw a couple dimensions on here. And we talked before about dimensions, but if I pick, I can just go ahead and specify first, specify second, tell it where to go, and then I do the same thing. I can go ahead and specify first, specify second, tell it where to go, and so forth. Then I can also right click, and I can go ahead and hit, right click in my first prompt and just select an object and do that. And this is how we go ahead and do this. And these lower left corners, I can do the same thing here by clicking here and going over this direction or down. When it's a diagonal, you can get either dimension. And so you just go ahead and do that and grab that. And this is how we go ahead and put this together. And yeah, and so this is it. So this is the basic idea there. And if you want your dimensions to be backed off, you can click on them and grab these grips and just pull them back up to where you want them to be. And then that allows you to go ahead and drag them and give you a little bit more a little less cluttered drawing. And then when you're all done, you'd save it. And I go to Save As, and I'm going to save this to my desktop and call it Drawing C Brennan. Boom. And then I would go ahead and submit that. That's how you would go ahead and do Drawing C. So again, thanks for watching, and this is primarily for my Monroe Community College students, but Monroe Community College students, as well as ONLC students who want to learn more, and anybody else. This is the Brennan Method. I'm Tom Brennan. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.